Orange is providing in book following the curriculum or the guidelines given by the CBSE. So the session is divided into 10 modules. The modules are interconnected with your general and the guidelines given by the CBSE and the books which we are providing. So the session will be a very interactive, reflective, and the activity-based learning. Like every teacher who are here today knows everyone is experienced in their own field. But the thing is that we know many things, but there is no session which will teach us like how to gather our all information in one place. So my practice for today is to just remember you, or to make you guide about the practices which we are following in the book, and you will get remember that. So, firstly, the first session is about the teaching with love, inclusion, and the design thinking. So, how we can include this in our day-to-day teaching life? Because the thing is that when you start teaching with the concept of students to them, so try to interrelate first with the students, like what are they thinking, or try to relate with their daily life. Start with an example so that student will connect that teaching with their real life, and they will get remember the topic throughout their life. So today's learning is about exploring the love, inclusion, and the design thinking, which is transforming our today's education. So when you teach with your heart, so that will automatically goes to students, and they remember the concept thoroughly. So the main motto of this workshop is to provide all the practical tactics which you can implement in your teaching. So the vision of the workshop is that firstly to build the emotional connection. Like you need to build an emotional connection with your students, like they love your class. So you need to create their safe, trusting relationship with the students. Like, okay, if one children is not feeling well today, one of the child in your class, so you can ask him or her to just rest for 5 to 10 minutes, so that beta when you feel comfortable, then you can again join the session. So you need to be practical with the child, so child will love to join your class and love to come to. Always try to inspire the creativity among the students. Like suppose if anyone doesn't like to learn the concept of computers, okay, no worries, because many students don't like to read the book, or they don't like to learn the concept of suppose scratch on books. They'll always feel it's very boring, sir. How can we learn the concept of scratch through book? So no worries at all. What we can adopt the second method is that we can take students to computer lab, and instead of their books to carry their books, we'll just ask them to take their place on the computer, and then we'll guide you and then explore the scratch on your own, so that when student get involved in learning, when you motivate them to open the computer and open the scratch program for the age 1 to 5, then they will explore the subject on their own, and they will give you more queries, and they'll get the more answer to that, right? So just a second, sir. Just give me 1 minute. There's some technical issue at the end because there's some glitch in the network. So I'll just get back to you within 20 to 30 seconds. So the team is checking. Apologies for the inconvenience. So we'll be just continuing the session. So the third thing is that celebrate diversity in learning. Like you need to honor each child in your class, respect their background, their learning style. Like every child is unique in its own terms. One child knows only how to, just theoretical, he just learn the concept, he just remember the concept and then write. The another child does not want to read the book or learn the concept. He only wants to do that concept through practical learning and then writing in their own style. So let them do whatever they like. We just only want them to learn the concepts. So make them child free in their learning in their own terms. You need to get into their shoes to check like how they wanted to study. Sometimes you can make your class session, suppose it is of 40 minutes. So for the 10 minutes, we'll consider that for as an warm-up activity in which we will play some activity like passing the ball or teaching them like, okay, give me a story or the steps how to on the computer system. So in that way, they'll be able to think like okay, they'll be able to remember like okay, to on the computer system I need to get the firstly on this power supply, then the cpu, ups or the monitor. So in this way they will be able to discuss the things with their partner and then they'll be able to answer you. So in that way, we have covered the two things. Like first is the critical thinking, which involves like they think about the concept, like ma'am or sir has asked me a question, so we need to answer them. Secondly, they had just discussed with their partner who is sitting behind them. So that include the group discussion also, which enhance their communication skills. So in this way, you can celebrate the diversity in learning. So for the today's session, the learning objective is that we'll discover the empathy first and try to include the emotional connection between the children and the teacher. Like, so every child needs to think that he is very valued as the parents has trusted us. So we'll be giving them a education or clearing their concept, and then parents simply need that their children or child must be value in their school or in their classroom, and after that he will be learning the concept. So second learning objective is inclusive classroom strategies. It includes like including all the practical learning or skills to ensure that child will do hands-on along with the theoretical learning. Third one, we'll be using the design thinking for lesson innovation. So we'll be framing, learning how to frame a lesson plan. So that will be divided into a whole 40-minute session, which includes all the principles given by the CBSE, the guidelines, and then we'll be teaching them the concepts. So in this, we'll be learning, like suppose a one chapter is of 10 pages. 10, I'm telling you a maximum one. So like suppose the one chapter is of 7 pages. So in case if you have two sessions, two class in a week, then you need to divide that 7 pages into your two classes per week. Or in case if you are covering for the first term, the 6 chapters, like, and for the covering of the first term we have 6 months, so in each month you need to cover one chapter. So the one chapter they will be of 4 weeks in a month, and for the 4 weeks there are two classes each in a week. So there are total around 8 classes in a month which you are using to make them understand a chapter of 7 pages. So if we cover one page per class to make them understand or to make them clear all the basics of teaching by including all the principles, all the 21st century skills. For the 40-minute session, we can include one game learning to them also, relate with them, like they will relate the concept to their real life, and then we'll arrange a group discussion and a short activity for them. And then we'll give them a task for the home to just write the points or remember the thing. So this is not a very much difficult thing to do for a 40-minute session. So we'll be learning that also. And the last learning objective is the teaching philosophies. So we will examine the beliefs about the education and align that principle with our daily routine of teaching. So today agenda is first is the learning with love. Like before talking to someone, to children, we need to love our subject first. Okay, because there's very famous a line which I have read on social media platform is like that teacher is not teaching his own child, but he is teaching someone other child, and the parents who send their child to the teacher is believing them 100%. So we need to teach the student with love. We need to understand each child with their development perspective. We need to include design thinking, which involves the creating problem solving skills in education, and the early childhood strategies which we need to follow for nursery to 5th grade. Now, everyone has paper and pen with them. Do teachers have? Okay, so one more thing I just wanted to ask, like in which language all the teachers are comfortable? Anyone?
Let it be in English only, ma'am.
In English only? Okay. So in case if you feel any doubt or need to know anything, then just simply type your question in the chat box. Okay. So I'll be answering
Okay,
that.
ma'am.
Okay. Any doubts till now?
Nothing, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay. So I guess I have received the answers in chat. Like you have all pen and paper with them. So take a moment and think, like write any one word of your personal choice, like what captures you to become a teacher. What is your being motto? Okay, so one answer in the chat box is I need to uh, continue the session in both Hindi and English. So in parallelly, I'll be using Hindi and then English. Okay. So please take a 1-2 minute for that. Just write एक कोई word ऐसा आप लिखिए जिसमें आपको एक मोटिवेशन मिल रहा है कि टू बिकम अ टीचर, कुछ भी एक वर्ड, एंड देन शेयर योर वर्ड वन बाय वन इन दी चैट। सो इस एक्टिविटी का एक मोटो ये है कि आपका जो इंटरनल पर्पस है बीइंग अ टीचर, टीचर बनना, आपको कि क्या मोटिवेट करता है और आप उस चीज को कैसे इंक्लूड करते हैं बच्चों को पढ़ाने के लिए। ओके, सो फर्स्ट आंसर विच आई गॉट इज continuous learning and updating the knowledge. That is very nice. Anyone? ऐसा क्या मोटिवेट करता है आपको इस फील्ड के लिए कि आप रोज सुबह उठ के मॉर्निंग। मैम, योर वॉइस इज नॉट ऑडिबल।
Anyone from 99? Okay. We have ma'am, then Swati ma'am. Okay, very good. So brands are not clear, I think. Only names are visible. Mega ma'am. Okay, very good. So very good. Yeah, ma'am, it is very helpful, I think. Yes.
The passion for learning. Oh, very nice. So everybody has written their word. You can answer in chat box.
Oh,
To share the known knowledge and to learn unknowing things. Very nice. Oh, सो मेन जो मोटो है हमारा इस एक्टिविटी का इज दैट कि आपका जो पैशन है आप उसको याद करें एंड देन कम बैक विद अनदर डे with the more motivation or the more activeness. So section 1 which we are covering is learning with love. So in teaching passion, love is just not a feeling, it's a practice. You need to give empathy to your children who are coming to teach from you, to learn from you, and you need to give them a care, a motherly care to them, so that they will learn the concept very much in a comfortable way. Okay, so what is love based pedagogy? It's basically a feeling that every child is seen in their classroom, is observed by their child. So if a class is of 30 students, अगर 30 बच्चों की कोई क्लास है, तो every बच्चा, हर एक बच्चा, he needs to think like मैम मुझे देख रही है, right? हर बच्चा try to include in your question every child. like अगर एक एक्टिविटी हम प्ले कर रहे हैं अपने सेशन में, अपने क्लासरूम में, तो हमें 30 स्टूडेंट्स को ध्यान रख के वो एक्टिविटी को एंगेज करना है और हर बच्चे को ये फील करवाना है कि दे आर स्पेशल और ही इज वेरी स्पेशल, कि वो इंक्लूड हो रहा है। गिव देम अ काइंड ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी। लाइक एक बच्चे को क्लास मॉनिटर, ड्यूटीज चेंज कीजिए, सीट्स चेंज कीजिए बच्चे की। सो उसकी चीजें सुनिए, अपॉर्चुनिटी दीजिए। गिव देम अ 1 मिनट जैम सेशन। जब क्लास स्टार्ट हो हमारी एक, तो बच्चे ये होंगे कि उनको लगेगा कि हमें, हाँ ठीक है, हमें कुछ बोलना है, नेक्स्ट डे क्लास के अंदर जाके तो वो प्रिपेयर करेगा। तो इस तरह से ही विल फील वैल्यूड। स्टूडेंट का एक, यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड द इमोशनल लैंडस्केप ऑल्सो। कैसा घर में माहौल है, पीटीएम हो रही है तो यू नीड टू इंटरेक्ट विद द टीचर फर्स्ट। पेरेंट्स के साथ कनेक्शन बनाना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है अगर आपको चिल्ड्रन को वैल्यू फील करवाना है, स्पेशल फील कराना है। सो एक बारी वीक के अंदर ऑन योर पर्सनल लेवल, ऑन योर पर्सनल ग्राउंड, जस्ट गिव देम अ केयर कॉल कि आई एम सो एंड सो अ टीचर टीचिंग in your students in your in your child class, in your child school, और आपसे एक फीडबैक लेना है, इज लाइक कि हाउ ही इज गोइंग वेल, राइट। तो इससे क्या होगा कि उनको एक इमोशनल नीड कनेक्ट होगा कि लाइक दिस टीचर इज कनेक्टिंग विथ माय चाइल्ड थ्रू ऑन सैटरडेज एंड संडेज। तो उनको एक कनेक्शन फील होगा आपका, एंड उसका डेफिनेटली एकेडमिक सक्सेस में ये रहेगा ऑप्शन। तो पेरेंट्स एक सिक्योर फील करेंगे कि बच्चे को भेज के स्कूल के अंदर। सेकेंड, थर्डली, एक रिलेशनशिप बिल्ड करना है। यू नीड टू आस्क एवरी चाइल्ड अबाउट देयर इंटरेस्ट, अबाउट देयर स्ट्रेंथ, अबाउट देयर चैलेंजेस। पर्सनैलिटी कैसे है बच्चे की, यू नीड टू ऑल्सो अंडरस्टैंड दैट। So principle one is the proximity in learning. Always start your lesson or classroom with what is familiar to them. Suppose today class, I mean आज की आपकी जो क्लास है, सपोज आप कोडिंग पढ़ा रहे हैं बच्चों को, राइट। अब कोडिंग इज लाइक कि जब भी पेरेंट्स के दिमाग में आएगा कोडिंग का, सो वो याद करेंगे पाइथन, एआई। लेकिन नहीं, आप ग्रेड 1 to 5 को पाइथन एआई आप नहीं करा सकते, राइट। सो आपको उनको बेसिक्स एआई कराना है, बेसिक कोडिंग कराना है, इन अ वे कंसेप्ट उनके क्लियर हो जाए कोडिंग के। सो हम जैसे सपोज एक पाइथन के अंदर एग्जांपल लेते हैं लूपिंग का। सपोज कीजिए आपको एक लूपिंग समझाना है बच्चे को ऑफ सेकेंड ग्रेड स्टूडेंट। अब सेकेंड ग्रेड का जो बच्चा है इज ऑफ एज 7 years। अब उनको आप लूपिंग का कंसेप्ट कैसे बताएंगे? सो आपको स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा एक फेमिलियर एग्जाम्पल के साथ। जैसे लूपिंग इज लाइक कि आप उठे सुबह मॉर्निंग में, राइट, आपने ब्रश करा अपने टीथ को। सो हाउ यू ब्रश योर टीथ इज लाइक आपने अपना ब्रश जो है वो टू एंड फ्रो करा टीथ पे, एंड मेनी टाइम्स 10 times 20 times। तो आपने 20 times एक ही चीज को अप एंड डाउन और साइड राइट टू लेफ्ट करा 20 times। सो एक रिपीट करा आपने इस चीज को, सो दिस इज योर रिपीटिशन, एंड इन टेक्निकल लैंग्वेज दिस इज नोन एज लूपिंग। सो आप रियल लाइफ एग्जाम्पल को
Ma'am,
या फेमिली, हाँ,
ma'am,
यस
can you
मैम।
please speak in English, ma'am? We cannot understand Hindi actually.
Okay, so ma'am, basically, I just got one query, I mean, one suggestion in the chat box, like to speak both in Hindi and English. So that is why I'm including Hindi also.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. So the first principle is in proximity in learning is that always begin with what is familiar to children. Suppose in today class, you are teaching the concept of coding. Right. So once we think about the coding or listen to the word coding, so we'll get in mind Python, AI. But no, for child of age 6 to 10 years, it is difficult for them to understand the concept of coding. So we teach them coding on a conceptual learning basis, right? So to teach them the concept of looping, let's start with a familiar concept. Like we can start with an activity to ask like how you brush. So they will ask like, ma'am, we just put our toothpaste on the toothbrush and then we just do this to and fro, up and down, right or left. So you can say how many times you do when you brush your teeth. So they'll say, ma'am, some students say 10 for 10 times, for 20, for 30 times. So they are doing the same thing of moving their brush up and down, right to left. They are doing the same thing multiple times. So this is repetition, and in technical language, we call this as looping, which involves doing the same thing multiple times. So in that way, you can make your concept start with the familiarity, so that this way they will never forget the concept of looping or repetition in technical language. So whenever they listen the word as looping, so they will relate, yeah, the ma'am has taught me about the brushing my teeth. Okay, so in that way, when they listen, when they get to heard the word of looping, so they will remember the thing which repeat itself in a multiple times. Okay, in this same way, they will connect the concept to their real life. One more example for that is, suppose you are teaching the concept of algorithm. Okay, so algorithm means achieving a target or goal in a step-by-step learning by following the step-by-step process. And in case if we missed any step in between that, so we will miss our target, right? So you can give them the example for the algorithm is that, okay, so how do you reach to your school today? Okay, so one child will answer like, I have come from my bus or from my cab, or my parents dropped me over here. Another child will explain you is like, I wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning. My mother take me to bath. I get ready, and then my father dropped me to my bus stop. I boarded the bus. Then the bus make me to reach to my school. I enter the school. I greeted the teachers, and then one of my didi or teacher just boarded me to my classroom, and I am here. So in this way, the child is explaining you. Every child will give you a different answers, right? So you need to listen answers. What are they speaking? At least they are trying to speak, right? Let them speak. If they are speaking a wrong thing, or anything other than the concept, let them know. This will enhance their experience or enhance their confidence in that. So they'll be able to communicate in a person in a hall with 100 or 50 of persons sitting in that, so they'll get a confidence. So they will give you about the algorithm, the concept, like how they reach from their home to school in a different way. So in that way you can teach them the concept of algorithm, like they are following a particular step to achieve their target, is that to reach to school. So in this way you can connect your learning or your lesson plan to their real life. And always try to use the authentic examples. Do not use any example which are imaginary, because every child will go into their imaginary world. Use the examples authentic, related to local park, season, animal, like that only. Never make them to go to their imaginary world. Always start with, have you ever seen this before? क्या ये आपने देखा है पहले, और आपने क्या याद किया है? एक और example we can take is natural things and man-made things. Okay. सो नेचुरल थिंग का एग्जाम्पल आप ऐसे समझा सकते हैं बच्चों को, इज लाइक, ओके, वन डे ऑन वन इवनिंग you are going to your park playground to play. So what you have seen over there? Trees. Unko give them a story like which make them to think what they have seen in the playground on a sunny day. Season है winters का, so make them to feel okay. आप winters में you are on a Sunday evening or Sunday morning, you are sitting with your grandparents in your garden. आप क्या क्या देखते हैं? तो child will ask butterfly, grass, trees, right? And sparrows are there, pigeons are there on an early morning. So आप ये concept को कवर करके इसको एक नेचुरल थिंग के साथ रिलेट कर सकते हैं. एंड देन आफ्टर दैट, कि अगर आप इवनिंग में जा रहे हैं पार्क में, तो आप क्या देख रहे हैं, आप क्या करते हैं पार्क में जाके? तो चाइल्ड विल से, मैम स्विंग करते हैं हम, वी प्ले देयर, वी टेक राइड्स देयर, साइकिलिंग करते हैं. So cycle, slides, rides. Any doubt? So you can interrelate this thing with their artificial things. Slides are made by man, human. Cycles are human made. So आप natural and artificial things का relate करके then you come to the concept of machine and computers. Any doubt, man? Because I am getting some voices. Anyone who needs to ask any question can write in the chat box. Chat box is open on my screen. I request you, sir, to please mute. And in case if anyone has any doubt, please post a query or question in the chat box. Thank you. So in that way, you can teach the concept of natural things, man-made things, and then relate to that computer. Computer is a man-made. So what are you doing is that आप एक real life example के साथ बच्चे का relate कर रहे हैं mind, and then he'll be thinking अच्छा okay man-made है और man-made computer है. So in that way, you are giving real world examples to them and make them to understand the concept thoroughly. Now, always try to move while teaching from simple to complex. Hamesha. This is the very important concept. हमेशा start कीजिए एक simple से, एक छोटा सा example दे के real life example, और फिर अपने session class के end तक एक complex topic cover कर लीजिए. It's like suppose today you are covering input, process, output devices. So आप पहला concept input, process, output का सिखाएंगे. Like every child is very fond of helping his or her mother in kitchen. So आप पहले कहेंगे कि आप orange juice then we put the oranges into the mixer jar or the juicer, and then juice will come and then we'll drink that. तो एक real life simple example के साथ start करके आप उसको कंप्यूटर का input, process and output पे लेके जा रहे हैं, right? So the teacher as a co-learner, because you need to come in the shoes of children to teach them. आप जो concept पढ़ा रहे हैं 5th class student को, right, वही same concept से आप 1st grade student को नहीं करा सकते. 1st grade is like बच्चा अभी has come from upper kindergarten of 5 years age, has come to 1st class who is only 6 years old. So आपको you need to give them a learning with fun or more include activity based learning as compared to your teaching pedagogies which you are following for teaching a child who is in 5th grade. So ask genuine question, share your thinking process. Examples B which you are including should be age appropriate there, right? Always at the end of the class, celebrate the victory. Victory is like celebrate the day. Like you have spent 30 to 40 minutes with a class of 30 students. Then for the 5 minutes, spare the time for celebrating the class. So they'll be waiting for the next time, like ma'am will come and then teach us the concept. Always try to include the emotional safety to their child. एक warm presence दीजिए is like when child is coming to your class, give them a handshake or high five or whatever they like. Is my screen is visible?
No, ma'am.
Now,
No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
okay. So always try to create an emotional bond with the children. Greet them with genuine smile. Make your facial expressions are very light for the child, whatever the child like. And this should be on based on the age or class of the child. Like you cannot give a child a high five to fifth grade student or fourth grade student, because you need to make a balance between your teaching and your fun activity based time, right? Always whenever a child give you any query, give them a response, think and express your point to child in a such a way that he will understand. हमेशा एक पेशेंस, ओके नो वरीज, आपको एक ही पेज करवाना है, यू नो दिस कि 40 मिनट्स के सेशन में आपको एक ही पेज करवाना है बच्चों को लर्न, तो मेक देम कि पूरा कंसेप्ट वो समझे अच्छे से बाय फॉलोइंग 2 or 3 डिफरेंट एक्टिविटीज. Always use your encouraging tone. Okay, chalo, आज for suppose for the third grade student who is not very new to teaching and who is not very old, because उसको 4 5 में जाना है, 3 is the class जहाँ पे एक बच्चा बैलेंस रहेगा, राइट? क्योंकि फर्स्ट में इज लाइक अपर केजी से आ रहा है, सेकंड के अंदर ही इज लाइक लिटिल क्रैंकी, मैम हैज सेड मी दिस और मैम ने ऐसा डांटा, तो थर्ड इज लाइक बैलेंस, एंड फिफ्थ स्टैंडर्ड वाले बच्चा इज वेरी प्रेशर, इन केस प्रेशर इसलिए रहेगा बिकॉज ही नीड्स टू गो टू द सिक्स्थ और उसके कंसेप्ट फिफ्थ से ही जाएंगे. सो थर्ड के अंदर इज लाइक अ वेरी गुड टाइम फॉर यू फॉर थर्ड एंड फोर्थ ग्रेड स्टूडेंट to teach them the concept with a very calm and supportive nature ki okay, suppose a case in which child is not able to attend a exam. Okay, no worries. Like what parents actually want is that they'll just give you a call. Is like, ma'am, he is suffering from fever or he has some family function in their home, so he'll not be able to attend the paper. So you will say, "Oh, don't worry, okay. We'll take the exam when the children will come back to school." So in that way, you will get emotionally connected to the parent and teacher, is parent and student, so that parents will faith you 100% is like this teacher is very nice to my child. So always, if child gives a wrong answer, at least he tries to answer, right? So always praise the effort and say very good beta, लेकिन आप इसको ऐसे भी explain कर सकते थे, right? So in that way you can create an emotional safety bond with your child. Now, you can Also, this is one example of the activity of empathy making, is that observe the child in any class, just select one child simply, okay, and give them a task. Is like, beta, this is your task for today. आपको एक presentation देनी है कल, presentation और a jam session, just a minute session देना है about what is computer नेक्स्ट क्लास के अंदर. आप क्या करें, सिंपली एक पेपर पे यू जस्ट राइट द मेन पॉइंट एंड सेंड देम टू देयर पेरेंट्स ऑल्सो, कि मैम योर सन और योर daughter is going to do a session of 1 minute speaking in front of the class, so please let them prepare that. So see the changes in the child. जब वो लर्न करेगा घर पे, पेरेंट्स लर्न करवाएंगे उनको, सो दे विल जस्ट डू देयर रिसर्च वर्क ऑन दैट टॉपिक ऑल्सो. और चाइल्ड ये नहीं है कि चाइल्ड एंड मेक द चाइल्ड फ्री, इज लाइक ओके वील हैव आई टॉट यू द कंसेप्ट, उसको अंडरस्टैंड करवाइए कंसेप्ट एंड लेट देम, आपको जो बोलना है बोलिए. जरूरी नहीं है कि यू नीड टू क्रैम दैट लाइन्स एंड स्पीक. You only need to understand the concept and speak. Ma'am will not do anything, scold you. Ma'am will not scold you. Ma'am will appreciate you. So just do that empathy mapping with the child, right? So always before doing the class, right? Before going to class, always take 2 minutes in your staff room to discuss with other teacher. Like, today I'm going to teach this, do you have any idea? Or if you have a good idea, then share with other teacher. They can also get the idea from that activity or session, and then they can teach that into your question, into their class also. Okay, so as already told you, this is very important to understand each child, because every child who enters your classroom, in technical term we said that they bring their own constellations or own stars to the classroom. They are on in their own world. You need to make them ki, okay, if you are in your own world, okay, just connect your world with my world. Okay, so your role is to discover, nurture, and make them child to learn. So in this section, this is the module 2 of understanding each child. So we will covering all the practical tactics, strategies for recognizing the individual learning style of child, give them their meaningful feedback, and then let them enjoy the topic or enjoy the concept. Any doubts till now, or anyone who needs to answer any ask question can post that in chat. Or shall I move forward to the next slide? So every child is unique. That means you need to follow strength-based approach. Okay, one query is that how to explain this malware virus with real-time example. There's another, I'll just explain that. Whenever there is one slide which is related to this, so I'll reconnect this malware with that slide. Okay, sir? So one is your strength-based approach. Now, what is strength-based approach? This is like one child who is very good in computers. And in computers, there are many subjects. One who is only able to learn the theoretical concept, and he loves that. You know, he knows everything. What is computer, input output devices, and what is Excel, what is Word, PowerPoint, and he loves each and everything about that. Another child is that who is zero in that learning, right? When you ask them what is computer, computer एक smart machine है बस. He only knows this thing, but he's very good at coding. He knows how to do the coding in Scratch, how to open the Google Chrome, how to do the R&D. I'm just giving you a little example. Uh, my son is 7 years old, right? He is in grade 2. So what he learns in his school, right? One day he's asking me, who is Michael Jackson? So I said, from where did you know his name? No, I am just scrolling your phone. He knows my phone password and he knows how to open the Google and all. So I'm just scrolling your phone Google and एक photo आई, mama, and it said that this is Michael Jackson. So I said, okay. So what you have researched on that? So he simply said, वो मेरे से he is asking me 2-3 questions about Michael Jackson, like उसकी death कब हुई, who is he, he's so famous, what are his famous songs and all. So I said, okay, so from where did you get all the knowledge? He said, no, simply I just open your phone, I just say, hey Google, tell me about Michael Jackson. So he's very good at his R&D. So what I thought is that, okay, so I mean, my personal observation about my child is that he is very good at R&D. So what I do is that in case if he get any homework, so I said, okay, just go and read this topic and then get your answer from the Google itself. So what he do is that he just ping me like, Mama, this is my today's homework. So I have read the book. Now I'm going to Google to ask, hey Google, just explain me this topic. So Google will explain me this topic and I'll able to answer that. So I am not forcing him to learn what ma'am has given you in your book, the answer. Just write your own answer. Maybe it is wrong. So I'll here or your ma'am is here to correct it. So you need to identify the strength of your child. You need to know the child's natural ability to strengthen the confidence, to enhance their confidence. If you scroll, it is very necessary to also to scold the child sometime, but with the limit. Like if he is not learning, he is only doing activity, just make them sit and say, beta, you are doing activity for the past 30 minutes. Now let's study the concept also. So in that way, you need to balance your teaching approach. Adapt only your methods of teaching, not your expectations. And you need to change your method with the child's strength. So in that way, every child can achieve their excellence. Now, how to observe the different learners. There are basically, which we had categorized as per our survey, there are 3 kind of learners: visual, auditory, or kinesthetic learners. Right? Visual, they always wanted to see. They don't want to see the long theory, the book. They wanted to see only the diagrams, only the pictures, color coded materials, which is very attractive. So they'll be able to, just recognize, okay. So likes to teach the concept of the input output devices. So make them like draw karo usko and then understand them. Next is your auditory learners. Auditory learners who listen, who just only wanted to listen like the rhyme. Start with the spoken explanation, or you can play the flip book or the audio book also. So in that way, they'll be able to learn the vocabulary of the subject also. So they are very much interested in that. Another is the kinesthetic learners who are very much hyperactive. So they need to do only hands-on, play the physical games with their hands. They only need to do the role playing. So for the role playing, let's do that. For the visual learners, like in case if you make the children to understand any concept, okay, so you can just create the concept of in visual form, like for suppose for the input output devices also, you can create the diagram display that first, then play the audio for input output devices, and then after that ask them to do a role play on that. That one child will become your input device, other child will become processing device, and the third one will become your output device. So in that way, or in case if you need to make them understand the malware, so firstly you need to make them learn what are malwares. So malware is any program which is designed to harm your computers, right? Okay, so in that way you can create first an activity is like uh, you ask children to bring balloons. Okay, one balloon each children will bring from their homes. Okay, so आप बोलिए उनको कि they will fill the balloon with their air, और पूरा classroom you can fill with the balloon. Now make the child, one child only, to enter one at a time, and give them a time to blast that balloons with a pen. ठीक है, and give them one information, write any one technical word related to the computer on that balloon. So when each child will bump the balloon, will make the balloon, जब उसको blast करेगा, when he blasts the balloon, then he will learn a one word. So you give them a task कि when you just blast the balloon, or you need to read the word, the technical word related to computer written on that, and I'm asking you at the end of the activity. So in that case, what they do is that they'll just come, they'll blast the balloon and read the one word. So in same way, the malware is a, so you can teach them the malware is a malicious program. Malicious is like it's a very uh, a kind of hyperactive child, you can say, a kind of hyperactive child, or who learns to do the activity like he just go and harm the computer network here. Is like when you blast the balloon, so you are creating the noise or disturbing the class. So in the same way, the malware come into your system and steal the important information. Now how malware steal the important information is the same way. When you blast the balloon, you steal one technical word. So in that way, malware steal the sensitive data of your computers, right? So in that way, you can teach the concept. So you can involve three learning: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learning. This is the multi-sensory approach to teach the children the concepts. Okay, so the next is when you teach them the concept. Okay, now create some stars or print some, like first star, second star, or the wish, right? Like the child who learn and able to speak the technical word related to the computer correctly, okay, is like my virus or the robot or AI. So give them a first star. So in that way, they'll be able to, just remember, yeah, I got the first star, second star, and the wish. Like the child will get motivated in these terms, like ma'am or sir is arranging this activity for us. So we will be able to do this with the full confidence or the full motivation, this activity. Okay. So always try to give them feedback or to celebrate their victory in terms like what they have achieved in the last 30-minute sessions. There is one query in the chat box, like, can you share the PPT you're using so that we can recall how effective my class has been, child result, understanding or field? I will share this PPT to the sir, and the sir will share to your school, so you will get access to that PPT. Okay. So always remember this strength wheel. Now, what is strength? This is very important to understand the strength wheel. It has been made from the principles or from the guidelines which are given by CBSE to include in our teaching skills. So the strength wheel, it involves 8 basic principles. Okay, the first one is conjugative, that is problem solving. Always give your child a problem and then let them give them a solution. Okay, they will give you a solution. Make them to do their own R&D or to do their own work. Now, curiosity. Second is when you give them any kind of problem to child. So, a curiosity, they will get into themselves. They will love to explore. They will love to give a question. Give any topic to them. Is like suppose we will be celebrating the computer day in our next class. So make them child to give different ideas. You will give a problem like we'll be celebrating computer day. Make them make one in charge of the classroom. Like this is the activity in charge for that computer day. So you will give a kind of your activity which you are in mind, but activity should be related to computers only. So they will get their problem is like, okay, I need to think about the computer day, and then this is their problem, and then curiosity come is like they'll start exploring the different activities which we can play in the computer, but the main point is that it should related to computer only. So in that way they will able to enhance their communication skills, they'll enhance their language development or speaking skill, they'll build confidence, like how you have given them a task of arranging a computer day in next class. So they'll ask with their uh, friends, with their parents, with their grandparents, like what we need to include. I need to give an idea of activity to my teacher. So in that way, you can make them to communicate. And moral is that you need to make them understand what is wrong or what is right in that. Right is that you only include beta the activities which are related to computers only for the technical activities, not another that. So they will be able to learn the moral in this, like, okay, so this is computer day and only need to add an activity which is technical related. Okay, so next is the physical. Physical is that their body awareness, their movement control, their motor skills. Their motor skill is like they when they research, do their R&D, right? So they'll be exploring various features. So they are making their coordination or their confidence is increasing in that. And they are connecting with that emotionally. Emotionally is like that, yeah, ma'am has given me this task. Okay, okay. Yeah, so I need to know, मेरी ma'am ने दिया है मुझे. So children are like this only. And this is solving your two mottos. You are teaching them the concept of computer also, and you are making them to do their research work. So they are become in any way very creative. They can come with a different ideas, and sometimes you will get an idea, a different idea, which you also are not able to think that. So you will be very amazed to see their idea. So give them a task, and the social relationship also increases the child with that, because they do group participation, they discuss with their class partner, like I have find out this activity, so what activity you have found. In this way they are helping each other to make them. So by using this framework, you can observe and celebrate the growth of the child in all domains, but not only on the academic achievement. Once you are including this strength wheel in your education or in your teaching pedagogy, then academic success is automatically achieved by doing this, right? So before this design thinking in teaching, so I'll be explaining you like what is included, these things like what we have teach. So what are included in our book, which you are using this touchpad plus 4.0. So I'll take another 10 to 15 minutes to relate the concept which I taught you in the presentation to our books. So this is our book Touchpad Plus V4.0. This is covering Windows 10 and Office 19. So, like how the book is divided. So this is the context matrix of the book. The main topic is Tux Paint, Scratch Junior. The Roman numbers which have mentioned in the bracket is the grade in which we are covering these topics. Like Tux Paint is for first grade, Paint for the second, Scratch Junior for the 1 and 2, Pivot Animator for the third, Blockly, Scratch, Word, PowerPoint, Windows, photo and video editing. So you can see the topics which we are covering for 1 to 5 is basic, and this will make them children understand the learning of the computers. So they will not feel the computers learning as a boring, but they are taking it as a task. And also the latest supplements are also there. Rapid typing, which will increase their typing style. Like by using rapid typing, they'll learn how to type on the keyboard. For the YouTube kids, they will explore the videos related to concept. Kiddle also is there. Google Translator is there because they need to translate the language Hindi to English or English to German or France. So they'll be learning the new things, and of course Windows 11. Since this book is based on Windows 10, so we had provided a supplement on Windows 11 to teach them, right? Now, our book is aligned with the NCF 2023. NCF is a National Curriculum Framework. It's a policy which have been given by the CBSE. Like you need to include these 21st century skills in your book. That has been mentioned where we have covered these skills. The first is critical thinking. Now the name suggests the critical thinking means give them a situation, any situation in which the child be able to think the answer. Creativity, it involves giving them some hands-on activity. Is like in case if we are teaching Scratch, okay, so we'll give them a task to create a Christmas carnival scene in which the Santa is coming and giving a toffees to another sprite. So they'll be think like what can I include in this, what background scene can I include in this, and what kind of the Santa and all I can include in my project itself. So in this way he'll be thinking and he'll be using this in his creativity. And then next is communication and collaboration. Sorry. The next skill is communication and collaboration. Communication means child will speak like what doubt he is facing or what query he is there. So in that way, we can arrange a group discussion. There is given in the book itself with the tag communication and collaboration, in which we have given a kind of the scene, like to divide the class into two groups, give them a topic, and then they'll discuss. So in that way, it will enhance their communication skills and collaborate with the child, because we are making them to divide group into two childs. Then the three skills are information literacy, media literacy, and technology literacy. Information literacy means you are giving extra information to your child. Like Charles Babbage is the father of computer. So this is, we are giving them extra information, or in case the supplements which are there in the book, giving the extra information. Media literacy is that when we are giving them a YouTube or any kind of the latest news to them. Technology literacy, giving them a quick facts about the computers. And the last is life skills, which are known as flips. Flexibility, leadership, initiative, practicability, and accountability, and social interaction. So flexibility is like, so we are very flexible with our topics. We gave a warm-up activity before starting the concept, a comic strip, so that child will relate conversation with the book. Leadership and responsibility is like, for example, I have given you in one example, like ask the child that we are celebrating a computer day in our next class and give one child the responsibility of activity coordinator. So in that way, a very small initiative will be there to make child your leader and be its responsible. So in that way, you can see the various options which child are giving, and they will be able to do this productivity. And social interaction means they're interacting with another child, with their parents, with teachers and all. So this is all included in our book. So the key principles of our textbook design is that curriculum, which we are following as prescribed by CBSE, which is age oriented. Values are also there. One, tips and tricks like SDGs are there. Discipline, pedagogy, which we are following, is has been aligned with CBSE. Language, we kept it very simple. The latest technology options are given. Book includes the diversity and inclusion. One thing which I need to mention in that diversity and inclusion is that we only need to tell the concept which are real, right? And not to be imaginary. One example is that cow gives the milk. No, cow cannot give the milk. We need to take that milk. We need to, just go to Gaushala and the person will give us the milk. So, the imaginary concept and the old pedagogy which we are teaching to students, like computer is a machine. Yes, no, it is a smart machine. Now, how we can interrelate that a machine and a smart machine? Machine is anything, but thus when we add the word smart, that means it is AI enabled machine. So we need to make them understand the real concept. Never ever try to make them go into their imaginary world to understand the concept. One thing is that we always write natural thing and man-made thing. Earlier we used to write in our books. So one child will always ask like, why always man-made thing? Why it cannot be woman-made thing? This is also a concept. Like if we are teaching them the gender equality, so why always to write man-made thing? Why cannot we write woman-made things? So what CBSE is done, he just writes human-made things. So human includes everything. So we need to make them concept real and genuine. Never ever teach them some imaginary concepts. So this is Panchprati. Now we are learning. These are the 5 steps which we are following in our books. Aditi is the introduction. Bodh means the conceptual understanding. Abhyas means the practice. Prayas means we give them an application-based learning in which they will learn, they will get a real-life example and then they need to solve this. And Prasar is the expansion of the activity, that is called HOTS, high order thinking questions. So how? Aditi is like this, introduction. It will give you a chapter profile, like what we are covering in this book. Both is a conceptual understanding, like if any concept has been taught in the classroom or this is the example of the PowerPoint. So we have given the screen, the real-time screen. This is the same screen which when child goes to the computer lab to make the presentation, so he'll be able to see the same screen in that, right? So in this way, we make them understand the concept. Then the abhyas and practice, which includes like the concept which we have taught in the book, in the chapter, then they need to solve these questions. So this is the abhyas. Prayas is the application which include competency-based question. Competency-based question, it includes the question which are subjective and which are story-based one. Like for example, your friend Rohan. So child will think about, okay, my friend, your friend Rohan want to create a photo album with having 4 photographs of a school sports competition, but he's unable to do it. Help him to do so. So this question is for the grade 5 book, from the grade 5 book, in which we have taught the Windows photo editor and video editor. So child will relate his knowledge to photo album concept, or friend ka naam aate hi, they get very emotional about their friend. No, I need to help my friend. So child will get motivated with that and then answer. So this is the Prayas application, and the Prasar expansion is all the supplements. Like this is the Canva, which give you a Canva AI or any extra knowledge updated we have included in our book. So the core elements which we are covering as per the CBSE in our book is NCF framework we are covering, competency based questions are there, writing space have been given in the book, high quality screenshots are there, all QR codes are also there so that a child should learn how to scan this QR code or become a tech savvy. And there are many project related exercise to this. So in this way, the concept of making the child, every child will feel special, or try to start your teaching concept with a real life concept and then go from simple to concept complex. So this all have been given. Yeah. So the basic. So I request you to please mute yourself in case if you have any query, then only you can type in the chat box. Thank you. So these things are included in our book, Comic Story, which give the child a kind of introduction to the chapter in a very fun way and engaging way. Takeoff is the warm-up activity. Double tap is to give them a kind of the check point, like the concept they have learned, then they need give to give the answers. Go online is a YouTube link to make them understand by seeing the things. So there are YouTube links or any video link in which the concept have been taught. So child will first read the chapter and then they can go to online link and learn the concept also. Wow Tech, there is a facts, latest facts or latest innovations in the field of computer have been given. Job prospects, this is just for a kind of a motivation, like when you read this chapter, so you can become this, you can go into this field. DIY is like do it yourself. The concept which we have taught in the chapter have been given in the DIY section. Like suppose child has learned of making the baseball scene of playing the baseball in the playground in scratch. So we give another activity of creating a scene of cricket game. So they can just relate the concept and can enhance their knowledge. So this is the example of comic strip, like how it is given in the book. The selfie pages there in which relate to their real life world to the book world is like what we have given. This is the introduction of the chapter, like plant a sapling in your neighborhood and take a selfie and paste it here. So child will plant a sapling. This will relate to the concept of input output devices. Like input is that you plant a sapling, you give the water, processing plant grow, and then the flowers will come. This is the output of that. So in that way, all the activities, every activity is related to the real life concept and the computer concept. So takeoff is a kind of the previous knowledge, what child has learned and now what we are doing next. Job prospect, this is only given in classes 3rd to 8th because 1 and 2 is very small to understand the concept of job prospect. This is kind of a double tap. This is the example of double tap DIY activity in the lab. This is the QR code for the go online, like child will scan the QR code and the video will get played. Better Me is like, this is the moral values. It focuses on the ethical values of the child. Is like the one example is that, do you help your parents in their work? So look at these pictures and give a star to the good child. So in that way, we are influencing the values to the child. So these are the tech words. Indian heritage are the extra, like we have included the SDG sustainable development goals also related to the book. These are the additional features which are included. Bridge courses are there, capstone projects are there, SDG natural. These are all as per the guidelines which have been given by the CBSE. Now coming back to our PPT. So next we are learning. I hope I hope I have made you clear the concept, or any doubt is there. You can please type the question in the chat box. Now the next very important concept which we are learning is design thinking in teaching. So this involves like imagining the education and modifying your teaching pattern with the human centered, like to modify your teaching way or the pattern as per the child, and then create a problem solving environment for them. Give them a kind of the query, like I am giving you this concept. Suppose next day we are learning paint 3D. So they will relate this to the paint, give them a task, ki go to your home and today evening create a scenery in paint only. So when they are creating this scenery in a paint, they are creating this with their imagination. Like they are creating a hut, garden, hills are there, trees are there, and in front of their hut there is a large garden, right? So they have created this with their imagination. Now you can continue your concept of paint 3D by taking an example of their hut which they have created in their home. So you can make them to create in the 3D environment also. Okay, so in that way you can include design thinking in your teaching. Now what is design thinking? It is a human centered approach to innovation, right? So it transforms the way we create learning experience. So we need to come into the shoes of student. Suppose you are teaching grade 1 student. So you cannot expect from grade 1 student to understand, or they have already known what is computer. No, they know about the computer only in their mind. They cannot write the full sentence about what is computer. Neither we can expect from them. So what we'll do is that for the first 6 months, we'll make them comfortable with the computer, and we will be following the way they have been taught in upper kindergarten. Okay, in practical way, and then slowly we will transforming them from practical to theoretical concept. So in that way, we are creating a human centered rather than the student centered approach in teaching. So the methodology of design thinking, it basically we are moving from traditional learning planning to the latest, which include the empathy, the creativity, and the iterative testing. Never assume what student needs. Okay. Always ask them to discover, to experiment the new things. Right. In this way, we include design thinking in our teaching. So there are four essential steps in design thinking: empathize, iterate, prototype, and then test. Empathize is that to understand, like to teach this concept, what actually student needs, what challenges they can face in
Ma'am,
them, and
what's Sunday?
sorry, I request you to please ask your question in the chat box. I can able to see the chat parallelly while I'm uh, doing the session. So I'll be including your questions and queries in the session itself. Thank you. So for the empathize is like you need to understand the need of the student or the challenges, what they are will face or what they want. Iterate is to include all the creative ideas of make them understand the concept. Prototype is that quickly make, like for example, you are introducing the concept of input output devices. So make them to bring a small plant or a small flower or root, let them plant in the garden. So in that way, this is make this session only for the 10 minutes. May take them to the garden. They will plant the flower or the root which they bring from their home. And then once they plant this, then relate that concept from input, output, and processing level. So create a short prototype of that. Or in case if you don't want to take them to the garden, so just create a kind of the prototype with the cardboard of input, output, and processing device, and then taught them the concept. Test involves just they will never in a such a way test their knowledge, like they will never get the idea like I am testing you. For example, just uh, in a class when we are teaching the concept, just make them child to speak one word. In that way, you can teach them their activeness in the class, their understanding of the concept by simply asking one question in a very friendly way. So these are the four essential steps of including design thinking in your classroom. It always includes the empathy. Empathy is the foundation of great teaching. It involves going into the shoes of your student. If suppose if one child is not feeling well, right? So you need to understand like why he is not feeling well. There is one very good example which I got to know from the teacher is like there is one child in a class of grade 11 who topped, actually there is a girl who topped the school in grade 10, but in 11th standard she is not able to learn properly, or uska she is not able to just attend the class, or if she is attending out that class, she's not able to focus on the class. So every day this is going for the 2 3 months, like she is not able to do the homework, she is not doing well in her exams. In first term exam also she is just passed online, getting 40 marks, she is just passed that way. She is not that too good performer, which as she has been topper in the 10th. So every teacher is scolding her. And this is the real life example which I'm telling you. So the principal called the girl and asked her, like, I mean, what is the problem with you? Is everything is okay? She started crying. Okay. So principal hasn't asked anything. And she said, okay, beta, if you want to go home, then go home. Okay. So what the principal has decided, he just uh, placed a meeting with the teachers and asked teachers, 2 3 teachers, to go to her home and see that what exactly is happening with the child, because child is looking very disturbed for the past 3 4 months, and she is not able to focus on the concepts or the studying. She is just passing online. I mean, getting only 30 35 marks, which is not expected from them. So a group of teachers went to their home. Okay. And what they found is that her mother is suffering from cancer, and doctor has given them a time of only 6 months, that her mother is be able to survive only for this 6 months, and after that she will be, no more. That, so doctor has given a time of 6 months. So what that child has decided, she decided that I'll be with my mother only for the 6 months, because after that I'm not able to see my mother. So when teachers listen or when see her story, then they also feel very emotional connected with them. So they make sure, matlab, they are now getting into the shoes of that girl. Like she's facing such a mental trauma in her home, like the child, this is a kind of the worst feeling for a child to listen from the doctor that that her mother is only living for the 6 months because she is suffering from cancer for the and she's on the last stage. So from the next day onwards, what teachers has decided, if she is not able to do her homework in her home, that's okay. Teachers are helping her out. They are supporting her in every possible way in which they can. So from the week, from 1 week after this, there are visible changes in the girl child which they are seeing. The child is now free from the mental pressure, is like of getting doing the homework, learning the concept. Teachers are taking care of her. Okay, if you are facing this problem at your home, so no worries, we are supporting you, because in that way emotional support and firstly the empathy is there, right? So empathy means what my students are feeling, what barriers are they are facing, what makes them feel low. So this is the kind of the emotional intelligence which you need to include in your teaching. Okay. So next is the power of collaboration. Collaboration means arranging a session, a kind of group session, giving them a group task, or arranging a jam session, right? In which they will student give them a task like create a report on the topic of computer, like for the Paint 3D or for the Scratch, give a report or create a report like how you can uh, see the interface or learn the interface of the Scratch. So make them arrange, students can arrange in a group of two, arrange a group for them, like give them a partner, like you are working together and give me a report on Scratch interface. So in that way, children will flourish their ideas and they will decorate or they will create the blocks, the move block, the looping block or pen block, they'll create the block. In this way, they will understand the concept and also they will learn how to engage with the another partner or to work in a group, right? So this is how you can make them to work in a collaboration. Now the classroom example of redesigning a story time is that, firstly, start with the storytelling. Always modulate your voice, the words on which you need to focus, stress on that, and then make your tone high or low as per the topics or words. Create an encouraging or the educational environment. Create a story atmosphere where child will able to relate itself with the concept, and then give them a kind of visual representation of the park, or make them to get into the CPU, suppose. Okay, find a video on the inside working of CPU, the motherboard, and the chips. Play the video and let them child be get into that motherboard to learn how it works, and then narrate the story to engage them. Right. So this is how you can redesign your story time to make the child understand the concepts. So in this way, you can, I'm just giving you an idea to how to design a design thinking activity. Select a lesson which you are currently teaching. Okay, apply the empathy. Empathy is like how the student will really experience that. Then brainstorm your ideas to make this engaging. Create a kind of lesson plan on pen and paper and then plan it, how you will teach them, right? So this is the way, the steps you can design your lesson plan also. Now we are how we can include the AI pedagogy and learning framework. Since today's world is all about the technology. So this is to make your task easier being a teacher, to make them understand the concept, or to include the use of AI tools in that. It is very necessary. I'll just give you a short example of how you can create or integrate your AI in your teaching pedagogy. It encourages the curiosity, like it will give you, suppose if planning a lesson plan will give you a kind of 4 hours you are taking to plan a lesson plan and you need to think the activity. Just take the help of AI tool. Okay, so it will give you a kind of 10 to 15 activities to teach the concept. And your working will only be left to build that lesson plan logically, right? And then you can ask AI to help it out to make that lesson plan to connect to the real world application, right? So I'll let you give you a small demo for this, like how you can include this. Firstly, there's very basic tool, ChatGPT. Everybody knows that. You need to log in. Okay. So this is the screen of ChatGPT. So suppose you want to create a lesson plan. Lesson plan on we are Scratch 3.0. Okay, give basic introduction of interface of Scratch. Okay, you need to be very specific while giving the command interface of Scratch for students of grade 3 of age 8 years, and the class is of 30 minutes. Plan the session interactive, activity based, include the concept of NCF, NEP 2020, include all the 21st century skills wherever needed. Okay, so let's get this command. Let's see how ChatGPT will give you a lesson plan. Okay, so this is given me the summary. So I'll be asking him to create in detail explaining every topic in detail. See, so first is that you will get a 30-minute lesson flow on introducing the interface of the Scratch. So what it has given you is for 0 to 5 minutes warm up stage is the guess date. Also you will get an idea, like I need to show the icons of cat, sprite, block, stage and ask them what they need to do. So this is the kind of the warm up activity. So student activity is that they will guess that. So which century skill, 21st century skill student is covering? I'm covering here this curiosity and communication. For 5 to 10 minutes give them an introduction to that. Okay, observe how students will listen that, give them a screen play about the interface of the Scratch, and then give them a learning on visual learning and teach their digital literacy. Then their hands-on activity, give them a small task to move the sprite 10 steps forward. So this is a kind of the hands-on activity. May divide the student in a group of two and then ask them to do this activity. So in that way, collaboration, logical reasoning, and computational thinking is covered in this. Then there will be give them a mini challenge like make your cat dance. You have taught them the interface, the basic move block for to move the sprite for 30 steps or 20 steps, then make it uh, give them a mini challenge of making the cat move, turn and then say hello, right? So in that way you will be giving them a kind of the problem and child will listen that, understand that problem and give you the solution. Then at the end recap and what they have learned in this session. So this is a kind of a framework for the 30-minute session. You can customize it as per your choice or as per your class needs. Now, when I ask the ChatGPT to give the lesson plan to create it in detail, so this is the detailed lesson plan, like curriculum connection, how it is aligned with NEP and NCF, art, play-based learning, cross-discipline learning, it has been covering which 21st century skill. These are the 21st century skills which are covering in this lesson plan. Now, this is your detailed lesson plan for that. Warm-up activity. So it'll be giving you each an action, like teacher action is a display 3.0 homepage on the projector. Show 3 icons, cats, blue motion blocks, stage. So, and wait for the student response. So in that way, you will get a kind of the idea for planning your 30 minutes class by using this. Okay. So now, next is in case this is the chat GPT. I hope everyone knows about Orange GPT also. So Orange GPT is that it is, although in a same way works as your chat GPT, but this when you give a command on your chat GPT, so it will search the whole Google to create a lesson plan. Orange GPT is only concise to the computer books which are of orange. So you can easily create your lesson plan, design your teaching methods, methodologies by using the orange GPT. I'll tell you that how you can include your orange GPT. Firstly, when you see your left screen, there is a portion known as GPTs. So you need to click on explore, and then to the search, you write orange. This is the orange GPT. Okay, it has our logo of orange. So you need to click on this and you need to add this GPT to your chat GPT. Now, orange GPT is actively working on your chat GPT, right? Where you can now, next time, when you open your chat GPT, you can see your GPT over here, right? So the orange GPT works in the same way as the chat GPT, but its knowledge or algorithm runs only the query related to computer and specifically for the orange book, right? In case, suppose you need to create a lesson plan, we'll give them a same command, okay? But for that, we need to know the chapter, like you are teaching touchpad. For grade, suppose for this is the, you need to write the mention the version also while specifying the, you need to specify your version of the book you are using. Create a lesson plan for this grade 2 book on pink for 30 minutes class. Okay, let's see. So Orange GPT is searching its own algorithm, which we have uploaded the books on this, and you will get a lesson plan related to your book only. See, so in this way, you can create your lesson plan. You can create the question paper also, create a worksheet also, worksheet of 20 marks suppose. But since this is an AI tool, so you need to cross-check or you need to read the content first, because the AI is ultimately a tool which learns from the experience. So there might be a chances that there may be some fault in the technical fault. So you need to cross-check the worksheet or the lesson plan which you are creating through AI, right? But it only be created by using Orange GPT. The worksheets or lesson plans are only be created itself from the book or the lessons which we are teaching students, right? So any doubt? Shall we move forward? Okay. So now you understand that why it is necessary to include. Yes, sir. Please type your doubt in the chat box in case if you have any doubt. I'm just reading the chat box. So in this way, you can integrate AI into your teaching pedagogy.
सर अगर ऐसे हो तो सभी का ना कल मैं भी कॉल किए 42
So please, it's a request to mute yourself as and type your doubt in the chat itself. Thank you. Now, there is 5-step learning AI model. When you are using any AI model, na, then you need to understand the 5 steps in AI learning model. Introduction, conceptual understanding, practice, application, and expansion, which can create animation on top by, no, you cannot. There's one query like, can create animation on top by orange gbt. No, you cannot create the animation, but yes, you can get steps to create the animation by using orange gpt. So it will give you a guideline, like you need to give them a situation. I wanted to create a short animation video on any topic. Like suppose the Christmas is coming, so Christmas carnival, I need to uh, create a short animation video on Christmas carnival. So you can get the guidelines of creating that, but it cannot be able to create your this thing, the animation. Yes, you can get only these steps. How we are install the app Orange GPT in Play Store only, ma'am? No, sir. No, no, no. You need to log in to your ChatGPT account. Either you are logging it on your free or the plus version. Then you need to go to the section of Explore GPTs. I'll show you. Explore GPT. Then after that, you need to write orange, and then you can see this icon of cap, graduated cap on orange GPT. Click on that and start chat. The orange GPT will itself add to your chat GPT account. Okay. I hope the doubts have been cleared, sir. So there are 5-step AI learning models which we need to include while creating the lesson plans using AI. That is introduction, conceptual understanding, practice, application, and expansion, which is the 5 both principles which have been given by CBSE to us. So that we need to include in our lesson plan also, right? Okay, so this is just a kind of an example of communication connection. Basically, this you can use only for grade 1 or 2. It's like you can give them a kind of the community helper, like assign them a role to student while teaching the concept of computers. Like you are an railway operator, you are working on an airport, give them a kind of the situation. You are like you are working as an admin in hospital, or you are operating the ambulance service. So how computer and AI is helping you, and be give them a kind of situation to one student as you are a doctor. So how AI computer is helping you. So this kind of the activity you can arrange while teaching the concept of uses of computer and applications of computer to students, right? So this is one of the idea which you can include in teaching. So this is a kind of which we are learning is multi-modal learning. So what are the benefits of this? So we need to include, as I earlier told you, the 3 approaches of learning: visual, kinesthetic, and audio learning. You can also include which these 3, when you include it, automatically include the collaborative and reflective learning also. You need to create a personalized activities also. For each child, you need to give them a task or an activity which child can easily be able to do that. Your main motto should enhance the participation of your child and include the cross-disciplinary learning. Like when you are teaching computer subject, in a case like computer is a smart machine which works on the data which we give as an input. right? So it is very helpful how computer is helpful in hospital, which is science. So you are assigning a role of doctor to student and giving him or her a task to check and do your research work, like how computer or AI is helping doctors in hospital. In that way, you are giving them a cross-disciplinary learning of science. So they'll be learning like, yes, robots are there today to do knee surgery or to do any kind of surgery. They are assisting that parents, patients or doctors. So computers are there to keep the record of patients, to keep the record of medicines of the patient. So in that way, you are giving them a cross-disciplinary learning, right? So there is a short trainer tip is like technology is a tool which you are using to enhance your teaching experience, but empathy is a method. So you need to use both parallelly in a very smart and intelligent way. You need to use that. You can use app, video, any digital resource to enhance your learning, but never replace the warmth of human connection to your child. Your encouragement, the teacher encouragement and understanding, make children understand the concept where they feel safe in the environment is very necessary, right? So it is a myth that AI is replacing the teachers in school. Yes, but they are not replacing, they are helping the teachers, because no robot or no AI or no computer can make the human connection with the child, give them a child a safe environment where child can feel emotional connectivity with the teachers, right? So use the AI tool and empathy both in a parallel way. You cannot totally rely on AI to teach the students, right? You need to take the help of these tools to create your lesson plan and then teach in your own way where the children will feel safe and understand the concepts. So pedagogies for nursery to grade 5 is will be just simply remembering. You all are teachers, you all better know how to teach the students or what methods to adopt. I'm just giving you a kind of summary recap or integrating the modern teaching principles with today's, right? So teaching is very effective for early years. It is not only about giving them a lecture or to make them cram the concept or to remember the concept of teaching. It is about to give them their space to understand the concept and where their curiosity thrives. So we will be exploring in this session the approaches like play, explore, and giving them a meaningful theme to learn the concepts, right? So play-based learning approach is also known as your PBL. PBL is involved, it can be taught in any language, either English, Hindi, Tamil, any language you can teach the PBL. This is your kind of the play-based learning where student will learn the concept by doing the things with hands, right? So this is the 4-step cycle. Explore, give them a material, take them to computer lab, ask them to open the system and let them explore. Okay, if you teaching the concept of Windows 10, suppose, so ask them to open the system and see the desktop. Observe for 5 minutes what you have seen on the desktop. Then make a list on a copy. Write the name of the elements or whatever the things you see on your desktop. So in that way, they will explore the desktop, right? So they will get hands-on experience on starting the computer system and then exploring the windows on their own. So by writing the name of the icons which they are seeing on the desktop. So they are exploring them and they are expressing you once you asked. Okay, so they'll tend to remember the name. Okay, there is recycle bin. So they will think like what this recycle bin will do, right? So you can extend out this kind of play-based learning by using the technical terms which they have written by exploring the desktop. So next is learning through themes. So you can arrange themes classes like colors, animals, seasons, and my family. Relate with the real life example and then go to the concepts. Engage the teaching techniques. Puppet show arranged like one is acting as an input device, one acting as an output device, one acting as a storage device. They'll wear a kind of the hard disk made from the cardboard and they'll so yeah, I'm hard disk. So create a kind of the role play teaching techniques, make them art activities which enhance their fine motor skills also, right? So the power of repetition is that always try to include this repetition, the power of repetition in your teaching. When you wind up the session, right, the classroom, always try to repeat the summarize the concept, or in a snack time or in a kind of the break, give them a time to summarize, like when you are taking child from classroom to computer lab, so make them just summarize them ki last time we have taught, we have learned this thing and that. So in that way repeat, try to repeat the topic in every possible way so that they can easily understand the concepts. Now there is one task for you to design a lesson plan. Okay, so design a complete lesson, 30 minutes lesson plan using play-based learning model. You need to choose one theme and plan activities that move through all the stages. You need to select any one topic of your choice, choose the theme which will connect to real world, then plan each stage of 30 minutes, select the techniques, build repetition, and then share and reflect the feedback. So please take the screenshot of this. So you need to create a lesson plan. If computer or laptop is accessible to teachers, then we can do this session right now. Please, are all teachers are accessible to systems? Anyone can reply? Okay, so please, I request you to take the screenshot. Okay, so one replied, no, ma'am, not now. So you can just click out that picture or I'll share that PPT with the sir. Just this is a kind of the hands-on session or hands-on last activity, which you can easily learn how to design a lesson plan. So any doubt, any thing you want to ask to me? Any query? Okay, so I will share the PPT. I'm just sharing you a Google form link, which you need to fill before leaving the session. So I'm just sharing the link on the screen itself. Or I'm just pasting that link. That would be comfortable for you if I paste the link on the chat itself. So this is the link. You need to copy this link and paste that on your, or click on link. Paste this on your Google. A Google form will open. Then you need to just mark the answers which have been mentioned. This is a kind of the feedback form. So I request you all teachers who have joined the session, please fill the quick quiz. This is the kind of the, you need to mention your email ID. And there are 4-5 questions in that. Which you need to answer that, right? It's a simple task of, I guess, 2 to 3 minutes it will take for you. Please confirm everyone, like you have opened the Google form. Okay. Thank you, sir, for opening the form. Please request you to fill. Once you've done, then you need to this scan this QR code and give us the feedback for the webinar.
Ankita ma'am, can we break for the lunch and we can get back to you on again by 2 p.m. every teachers?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just announce the same thing.
Okay. So there will be a next session also from 2:30 p.m. So I request everyone to please rejoin the session with a, yes, with the same ID and same passcode on the same link. There will be a next session also for the teachers of grade 6 to 8 to join and to know the pedagogies for learning, the how to teach to students from 6 to 8. So we'll be learning more new things in that session also.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, actually, I'm keep trying this link actually, but this is not working. So
Which,
please tell the teachers that just means go through the the ID and password besides the link,
okay, okay,
because the biology link and the IT link has been mixed. I think replaced the biology link replaced the IT link actually.
okay.
So that's why I'm getting issue with this one. And after many trying, then I try to use this ID and password 8148453843 something. Then I'm
Mm-hmm.
able to join, ma'am.
Okay, so please, in case if you're not able to join from the link, please use the passcode, ID passcode also to join the session.
Yes.
Okay, I request every teacher, did they fill the form, the Google Doc form, which are the link I shared? Uh, do all the teachers fill the form? Please confirm. And after that, please scan this QR code. It requests
Ma'am,
you to please
ma'am,
share.
ma'am,
Yes, sir.
I submitted. See,
Okay.
I think one, yeah.
Okay. And after the form, you need to fill this feedback form also, sir. Teachers who have filled this Google form and the feedback form can, if they want, can they leave the session? Or in case if you have any query or doubt, you can again join the session at 2:30 p.m. in which we are teaching the pedagogies for grade 6 to 8. But please, it's a request to fill the Google form, the Q&A form, with the link of which has been shared in the chat session. And then please fill the feedback also.
Ma'am, feedback purpose, send the link.
So this is only the QR code for the feedback. You need to scan it from the Google
Yeah.
Lens, and then again a Google form will open, and then you need to fill that form.
Ma'am, why? Ma'am, but ma'am, my mom going to the Jayalakshmi ma'am house. Funny.
Yes, ma'am. I have done this link actually. This whatever it means in a chat section link I have done, and I will do the QR also.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Request all to please fill the Q&A and then please share the feedback, scanning the feedback form, and then they can, if they have done, they can leave the session. We'll again have a session we have at 2:30 p.m. for grade 6 to 8 teaching pedagogies. Rahul sir, are you there? Rahul sir, Bala sir. In case if the QR code, you're not able to scan the QR code, then there is also, I'm posting the link for the feedback, this QR code. So you can also click on this link. Yes, sir.
Ma'am, I sent feedback also by scanning. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you.
Rahul sir, are you there from Orange? Or Bala sir, anyone from the Orange team?
So
Requesting teachers to please fill the Q&A form and then the feedback form. If they have filled the form, they can leave the session and then rejoin if they want at 2:30 p.m. in which we are learning the teaching methods of pedagogy for grade 6 to 8, what we need to follow. Thank you. Um, Sir, have you filled the form? So shall I wind up the session? Close the session? Okay, thank you so much.